I'll continue on the training route actually, and I just have a question about women versus men and sort of physiology and things like that. I know that nowadays there's a bit more research out there about potential benefits of women training differently at different times of their menstrual cycles. And I don't know whether you know much about that or if that's something that you buy into at all.
I do a bit of coaching myself, so I'm trying to learn a little bit more about it myself in order to support the female athletes I coach. If I'm honest and put my hand up, it's something I've never done, like over, again, sort of as I was coming through training, it was the research wasn't there, and now it is. And to be honest, I don't know, my coach might do that for me naturally, and I don't really notice because she just puts the training up in Training Peaks. I have to say though, and I'll be honest, like for probably until the last couple of years, I didn't have periods. So, which again, like goes against all the whole thing of, if you don't have a period, you get stress fracture, you get injured, and you get sick all the time. Well, I never did. I was resilient and I had energy levels to train and all of that. But probably from the age, I mean, I don't know, from the age of 16 or so, I didn't. And so it's never been something I was aware of. But I have to say, like the last couple of years, I am back on my period pretty regularly. I notice more like mood swings than energy and mood affecting me mentally rather than anything affecting me physically when I'm training in terms of time of the month. But so for me, it's never been something that I'm hugely aware of or use, but I know the research is out there, and from talking to other athletes and again, like I said, coaching athletes and who have bigger symptoms or side effects of periods, they have bigger energy swings of physically how they feel. I think it is worth, if that's something that you go through as well, it is worth looking into that research in terms of, I know like timing when's good to do like that strength work in the gym and the strength work on the bike and that sort of thing, or when it's better to do that sort of high intensity work. And so, but it's really hard, I think, because it is still relatively new to find coaches who fully understand it and fully know how to program that in for a female athlete. And the other thing is, it's not like you just generically can then set the same for all female athletes, because like I said, I don't overly notice that I go through, but someone else who's a female, and maybe even if you're on at the same time of the month, can go through a totally different experience. So it is really hard. I think there'll be more and more coming out about it. And I think if you're someone that does feel the physical and mental changes in energy levels and changes in your body over the month, it is probably important to try and work or get a better understanding of how you can build your training sessions around that. So yeah,
it's super interesting. I think you talk about we as athletes being aware of our bodies, but I think as female athletes, we're not as aware of our bodies as maybe we should be. So yeah, it's something that I'm just sort of looking at now, and maybe over the next couple of cycles, just going to look at it and say, okay, is my energy dipping at some points, and do I have more energy or motivation at other points? And is it motivation because of hormonal levels, or is it motivation because of external factors? Yeah. I just think it would be interesting learning.
Yeah, I think the first thing is just start tracking how you feel. Mm-hmm. Like I tend to know that probably a week before I start, I get really depressed. Well, depressed is a strong word. I get really down, but that's mentally down. Like I still find I'm physically okay to train, and I can still have some great sessions and I'll still get on and do it, but just everything's a battle in my head at those couple of days. So I do notice that. And I'm trying to get better as well at just like logging things and logging cycles so that you can kind of see when, and I mean, for females as well, it's funny because I think it's just that we've always expected just to get on with things, and it's never been a topic that anyone wants to talk about. But races, and being sorry boys about this conversation at the moment.
Sorry about this, guys.
I even know like I know some pros even like they will plan their race schedule over the year around their period, because their period just cripples them in ways and they can't. And obviously you can do that to a certain extent, but a race organizer doesn't move the event because you're on that week. Like you're the one that has to choose a different race to do. So I know for some pros it's really important, and they do track, monitor, and be like that. Or it's just like that race falls on the day, I just have to manage it. I just have to like put all the precautions in place in special needs. And, you know, some aid stations are carrying Tampax and stuff now as well at some races, particularly Australia, I think, and being more accommodating that way.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's really interesting. Thank you for that.
Yeah. And also I think it doesn't necessarily, being on race day doesn't mean that you're going to have a bad race. You can actually have amazing races still. Hi everyone, Laura Siddall or Sid here. Please like and subscribe to Ironman Hacks.